Today we're going to take a look at how to read a chemical formula. So first off, we need to know what a chemical formula is. It's basically a way to show the different elements in a substance and how much of that element there is. We're going to look at 3 examples today: H2SO4, NaCl, and CO2. Our previous lesson on the periodic table was really important for this. When we look at chemical formulas, we're going to see that they're made up of these symbols for each element. During this lesson, I asked you to complete a See, Think, Wonder chart. A common observation that many of you made was that some boxes have 1 letter and some boxes have 2 letters. You also noticed that there were capital letters and lowercase letters on the periodic table. These are 2 really important observations when it comes to being able to read a chemical formula. In my first example, the chemical formula is H2SO4. Now for today, we're going to just ignore the tiny little numbers and focus on the element symbols. So I search the periodic table and I find the symbol H, and that lets me know that this contains hydrogen. So now I just need to figure out the SO4 part. Now, I could search the periodic table for hours, and I'm not going to find S and O together in one box because they're both capital letters. When you read a chemical formula, if you come across a lowercase letter, it's going to stick to the capital letter in front of it. Since these are both capital letters, I know that I'm looking for 2 different elements in the periodic table. S is the symbol for sulfur, and O ends up being the symbol for oxygen. So I know that this substance has hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen in it. In our second example, we will look at the chemical formula NaCl, which is salt. Now remember, in our last example, we said that these lowercase letters are going to stick to the capital letter in front of them. So when I look at this chemical formula, I know I'm looking for 2 elements, one with the symbol Na and one with the symbol Cl. Once I find them, I see that Na stands for sodium and Cl stands for chlorine. That means this substance has sodium and chlorine in it. In our final example, we're going to look at the chemical formula for CO2, or carbon dioxide. Now, a common mistake people might make is finding CO on the periodic table and saying, oh, this is cobalt. That's not correct in this case because we have 2 capital letters, meaning there's 2 different elements here. C for carbon and O for oxygen.